it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I am using this beautiful cut file called Musical Wings, and I have a super cute photo of my partner and my son, but I'll get to that once you can actually see the photo. Now, I thought I'd do something a little bit different and do a bit of mixed media in the background, which I don't do often, but my sister gave me a whole heap of the COAPA Craft paints for Christmas, which funnily enough I only used the white. I did get the orange out, but I also have another, I think it's a Dina Wakley orange maybe. Anyway, I've had it for years. I actually got it in an Kitaholic Kits kit, I think, ages ago. Anyway, I am doing a little bit of mixed media in the background. I'm just using a card stock that I get from a local market, funnily enough. It's a very thick cardstock, so it is good for mixed media. It's not like perfect. The paper still warped, and I should have treated it with gesso, but I didn't, but it's fine. I can get away with it, particularly once it's dry. You know, doing my voiceover the day after I filmed this video, and the layout's completely flat now, and I didn't put anything on top of it to weigh it down. I just, you know, left it on my desk. So I'm doing some stripes. Now I did mix, you probably missed it, but I did mix some of the Vicky Bouton iridescent glaze with the orange paint. However, what I will say is you can't tell. You really can't tell. You'll see what I do in a minute. But I'm putting some white, I've done the orange stripes. I'm putting some white stripes in the middle, and I kind of wanted it to blend together, so I didn't mind that it sort of merged and all blended in. If I didn't want that to happen, I would have dried the orange paint first. Now I think I'm actually not sure what I'm doing. I'm probably doing something on my computer. Oh no, I'm getting my heat gun. So I do want to dry this off as much as I can. Now, if I had have had time, ideally I should have waited for it to dry naturally, because then it wouldn't have warped the paper so much. But definitely putting heat on it does warp the paper a lot. Oh, I think I was actually washing my brush out. Having said that, now I'm getting my heat gun out and plugging it in. Unfortunately, sorry, but the PowerPoint's kind of in front of me, so you'll see the cord hanging over the whole time, which is annoying for you. But it's handy for me because the power board is up high enough that I can plug the power into my phone while I'm recording, which is great. Anyway, I'm just drying this off. And then I'm actually going to do a layer of the iridescent glaze over the top. So the iridescent glaze is iridescent, as its name suggests. It's a little bit more silver toned. So basically it does kind of add that silver sheen over the top, but I really like it, and I don't use it enough. I don't use any of my mixed media enough, so I'm trying to get into it a little bit more. Now, I also deliberately wanted to keep this layout quite plain. When you see my photos, my partner's wearing orange, bright orange, because that's my band uniform, which is great to stand out in a crowd, but it's really annoying to scrap with, I will say. So yeah, so this is what I'm doing. Sorry, when I was talking before, I'm just putting that iridescent glaze over the top of everything. So I dried it off enough that my colours weren't blending or anything like that, and I was just adding that iridescent glaze, and I didn't want to waste any, so I'm trying to pick up like every last bit from the plastic that I've put it down on the right hand side. And then I'm just going to dry it off so that I can keep working on my layout. As I said, I didn't have enough time to kind of wait for it to dry naturally. I really only get to scrap when my son's asleep, so I had to make use of the small amount of time that I had. Now, I've come back, sorry. I did come back. I wanted to pack away all my mixed media, wash all my brushes and things like that. And in the interim, I did stick down a border around my white paper using a wood grain. So I'm sorry I didn't do that on camera. It was actually quite fiddly because my white paper wasn't flat. It had buckled because of the mixed media. So it actually took me quite some time to get it straight around the edges. Now, I'm not a perfectionist. I don't mind if it's a little bit off, but you know, I needed it to be somewhat straight and it did take me a fair bit of time. So I'm not doing anything to this cut file. I cut it out on American Crafts textured cardstock, which I just pick up at Spotlight here. I've found in my machine, personally, that's the best cardstock that I have used. So I've got a Silhouette Cameo 3, and this just cuts the nicest. So that's why I pretty much always cut white cut files, and it's always the American Crafts textured cardstock. So I've pulled out what I've sort of got from a couple of boy collections from Coco Vanilla Studio. It's definitely not their latest one. Oh, sorry, well, it's not their latest one because it's not out yet, Legendary. But it's also not Boys Rule. I've got that in a separate bag. But it's a bit of a mix of You Rock and Totally Rad, I think. Sorry, I'm just checking. That's why I can hear me moving things around. I'm just trying to use up sort of my old kits. Not that I use much on this layout. So I decided to trim my photos. I've backed them on white cardstock and now I'm backing them on some blue paper from, I don't know, I think this one was You Rock, this collection that I've used for the backing paper. And then I went through and pulled out some ephemera that could work, and it's in a little white tub off to the side. You can't quite see it onto the right hand side there. And then I decide once I've put my photos down that I really don't want to embellish much. I start fiddling around with a few things and just kind of playing and placing things around to see what might work. And then I decide, no, less is more in this instance. So when I put the photos down, you'll see what I mean about kind of what I had to work with. Now, they're super cute photos and I had to scrap them because they're just adorable. My partner and I just played at a local gig, and he's the conductor of a local brass band that I play in, which you all know if you watch my channel. And we took my son along, and I said to my partner, I won't play, but if you don't have enough people, then obviously I'll play. I bought my instrument. Sure enough, we didn't have enough people, so I had to play. And I knew that he wouldn't sit quietly and just sort of watch from the sidelines. So I had bought the baby carrier along, and Danny wore him for the whole gig. So yes, it was quite uncomfortable for Danny, but it was super cute, and he's big enough now that he wanted to face out and watch everything, and he kept trying to grab the baton, and it was adorable. Now, sorry, you missed me putting my title on, which I edited out anyway, but I pulled out some blue thickers and some of the small white foam stickers from Paige Evans' collections, and I just used a quote. So it says, "Life is a song, love is the music." I just thought it was cute. I think the layout is pretty self-explanatory about what's happening, and so I didn't want to do kind of, I thought that a cute title was the way to go. Now, this is what I mean when I said I was kind of sticking things onto the layout to see what I might want to do with some embellishing. And it's around this point that I decide, no, I'm going to go with stars. I'm going to do a star theme. I'm putting away the rest of the embellishments and I'm just pulling out the stars and going to have a play with those. Now, as I said, this is a mix of Totally Rad and You Rock. So the colours all match most Coco Vanilla collections you can use all together. And so I just, went with stars. And I'm super happy with how it turned out in the end. Again, it's very basic, but that was the absolute intent of what I was going for. So I think just because we use cut files and cut files seem like they're quite complex and complicated, they don't have to be. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this layout. I wanted to show you that cut files don't have to be complicated. They can just add a really nice element to your page. You don't have to back them. This one in particular didn't need backing. It was very much, I guess, a kind of background piece. Now, I could have cut it out in coloured cardstock, and then I wouldn't need to do the mixed media background because it would have stood out, or I could have put it on pattern paper and used white, but I just decided to do some mixed media just for a bit of fun and to tie in the orange in the photos. And because orange is such a hard colour to work with, I did decide to keep it very simple. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. It's one of my favourite photos. I think this was about November-ish. Yeah, it must have been right around my partner's birthday, November of 2019. And so I really wanted to get it scrapped, and I was really, really happy with how it turned out. And I've loved this cut file of Virginia's for ages, Musical Wings, and I just didn't have the perfect photo yet. I knew I would because obviously I take a lot of music-related photos, but yes, I'm super happy with how this turned out. So I hope this kind of inspires you if you're a bit afraid of cut files to give it a go, but just you can keep it nice and simple. And also I know I've covered up a lot of the cut file, but I like the bits poking out at the side. I think it looks lovely, and you can still see the music notes in there. Now I'm just adding some splatters. This is I think it's a Dusty Attic chalkboard splatter. I actually got it as a gift from Corrine. And I'm really happy with how it looks. I love orange, obviously. Well, actually, I don't love orange, but I have to love orange because I use it a lot in my scrapping. So there we go, I'm all finished. You'll see some close-up photos coming now, and that is the layout. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. All the links will be in the description box down below, so definitely go check out Confessions of a Paper Addict, and we'll see you next time.